Welcome back to the Rich Life Diaries podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you the habits to make you a millionaire in 2026. So let's get into it. Welcome to Rich Life Diaries, the podcast where we talk real strategies for creating abundance, building a business you love, and designing a life that actually feels good. If you're done playing small and ready to create your dream life, you're in the right place. So if you've been following my podcast for a little while, you'll know that I had business success earlier on in my business. So 13 years ago when I got started, I think by year 3 or 4, I was making over $1 million a year in my business. So there's some common habits that I have noticed in myself and other people that are millionaires. And I wanted to share those habits with you to help you become a millionaire in 2026. So one of the habits is making your bed in the morning. I know this sounds a bit lame, but honestly, there's so much to say to this because the way you start your day in the morning will roll out basically how the rest of your day goes. So if you get up in the morning, you're all frazzled and stressed, you walk out of the house and you don't make your bed and the house is a mess, you're not starting your day off on a clean slate. You're starting it off messy. And in my experience, a messy environment equals a messy mind. And a messy mind never equates to a successful mind because you don't have any structure in your day. You don't have any structure in your home. So I think it's really important, like every morning I get up, I make my bed. I do follow a bit of a pattern and a routine every morning. And I think that's really important for setting yourself up for success to start the day in a successful sort of mindset. So the making your bed thing kind of leads into my second habit, which is taking consistent action. So how you do one thing is how you do everything. And the making your bed in the morning is kind of setting yourself up or setting your mindset up to say, okay, check, I've done one thing, I've accomplished one thing for the day. And that puts you in the right headspace and the right framework to continue the rest of the day like that. So it's more about checking things off and feeling like you've accomplished something. So in my experience, when you take consistent action, and I mean 10x of what everybody else is doing, that is basically just a natural thing for me and a habit, I suppose. I've just been born like that, where I don't overthink things. I don't sit in fear. I don't hesitate with taking action, or I just literally go through a to-do list and I just go through and start checking things off, and that also puts me in that mindset of, I feel like I've accomplished a lot because I can see visually that I've written a list of things that I'm going to do for the day and I've taken action on them and check them off. And it just makes me feel like I've accomplished something, I suppose, for the day, much like making the bed in the first thing in the morning. So I think that's something I see in successful people. They're people that they don't sit on the sidelines. They don't sit and wait for things to happen. They go out and take action. They don't sit in fear for too long. They don't overthink things. I think that's the biggest thing I see in my business, Clickstart Digital, with some of our clients, is they can get overwhelmed and then they just sit in that overthinking space where they're just overanalyzing everything and not taking action. And that's very normal. Most human beings, we're all like that. But you really have to push yourself outside of that and take action. You know what you need to do to get closer to your goals. And it's the action that's going to basically get you closer to those goals. Another habit that I would say that I have is I truly believe that you need to have laser focus on one thing. I see this in a lot of entrepreneurs. We all have what's called shiny ball syndrome, and it's very normal. We all start a business idea or start a business, or we might be a few years into a business and then we get another idea or something else pops up and, we get distracted with all these shiny, pretty objects. And it can take you away from the main business that you're focusing on. My mentor that I had years ago actually said this to me many, many years ago when I started Clickstart Digital. I was about 2 years into Clickstart, and I was also working within a multi-level marketing company, Isogenics, and I was doing both businesses. And at that time, he said that to me. He said, Sam, you can't put 100% laser focus into two things. You're splitting that up, 50% there, 50% there. You need to put 100% into one of those things. So pick one. And I did. I chose Clickstart Digital and, look where I am today. So it was obviously the right choice. And I don't think I would have had the success within my business if I didn't make that choice and I was kind of spreading myself thinly over 2 or 3 or 4 different business models, which I do see a lot in entrepreneurial type people. Because as I said, I think it's just a natural thing that we have that shiny ball syndrome. And even now I still see, people say, oh, do you ever want to start any, run your own e-commerce stores? It's like, yeah, I do. But then I just have to snap myself back into it and go, no, Sam, just 100% laser focus on the business in front of you. Stop being distracted by all these other shiny things that you think, oh, that'd be exciting. I might start this or I might start that. So that's definitely something that I would say is a habit of successful people that do really well in their business is they have 100% laser focus. Another habit is getting coaching. So I talk about coaching a lot in some of my other podcast episodes, and for a good reason, because I don't think I would have had the success that I've had today if I didn't have a coach. And this is why we offer coaching in our program for my main business, Clickstart Digital, because I understand there's a strong correlation with every successful human being on this planet, them having a coach. I just was at an entrepreneurial business meeting in Coraggio last week, and they had a guest speaker, and she was an Olympic swimmer. And she was speaking a lot about coaching and about how she personally has coaches for different levels. So when she's reached this level, she then swaps her coach out and gets a coach to help with that level that she's at. And as she gets better and better, she basically changes her coaches out. And it's such an obvious one, but a lot of people are a bit, oh, I don't need a coach or, whatever. That is absolute bullshit. You do need a coach. You need to follow in someone else's footsteps. There's no point trying to reinvent the wheel and try and do things the hard way when you can literally get a coach in your industry that's already been there and done it, and they can basically guide you through and show you the landmines to avoid and how, to become successful like they have. So when you're looking for a coach, my tips are find someone in your industry that has achieved the success that you want to achieve, and then reach out to them and, find out if they offer coaching and the cost and things like that. Sometimes I've heard of people getting mentors or coaches that just do it for free. But most good coaches will charge a fee, or they might have like a program or something like that. So that's definitely a habit that I see in successful people is, they're open to learning from people that have already walked the path before them and achieved the success that they want to achieve. Have you ever wanted to live life on your terms? You can have financial and time freedom with your own e-commerce store. My business, Clickstart Digital, helps people just like you set up an e-com store from scratch and launch it in 30 days. To find out more, visit us online, clickstartdigital.com.au. Another habit I see in successful people, including myself, is their growth mindset. So in my opinion, you've got 2 different types of people in the world. You've got people that are open to growing, and you've got people that are not open to growing. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with either of those people. But yeah, the people that are open to growing are usually the ones that become successful in my experience and from what I've seen. People that their cups, in the sense empty, they're always open to learning. They're always open to feedback. They have the right mindset. I think that growth mindset is so crucial to becoming successful. And if you don't have a growth mindset, that's okay. You can learn to get one. I mean, I only started my, growth journey in my 30s. And what I noticed is when I started doing work on myself and, personal development stuff, I did all the course. I went to Tony Robbins and I read all the books, and I've done all the, retreats and all the things. And I did that through most of my 30s. And that was sort of in the start of my business, Clickstart. And the business took off when I took off. When I was growing as a person, my business was growing financially with me. And I really do believe that success comes from your mindset. And, we're not all born with a naturally growth focused mindset, and that's okay, but you can get one. You just have to be open to growing and learning and evolving and changing as a person and doing the inner work on yourself. And that's something that is a huge thing that will make or break you and help you become a millionaire if that's what you want to do in 2026. Another habit is surrounding yourself with successful people, or people that have achieved more in life than what you have. there's that saying, you become the 5 closest people you spend your time with. And I know I've said this before in another episode. If you hang out with 5 idiots, you'll probably become the 6th. So you don't want to become the 6th idiot. So you want to find 5 legends or 5 successful people or 5 millionaires, and you want to surround yourself with those people, because energy is it's infectious. And when you're around people like that, we all lift each other's game up. I've seen that myself, when I joined Entrepreneur Organization many years ago, and I was going to monthly meetings where I was in a room full of 8 successful millionaire business owners, my business took off. Whether that's just a random, coincidence, or whether that had something to do with the energy I was surrounding myself with all the time, I'll never know. But I do believe it's an energy thing. And I do believe when you surround yourself with other successful people, it raises everybody's vibration up. So this is another habit or another thing that I see in successful people. They're surrounding themselves with other successful people. You won't see a billionaire hanging out with, a normal Joe Blog kind of guy that's on Centrelink and doesn't have a job and doesn't work and I don't know, whatever. Like, you just won't see that, right? There's a reason for that, because people know, be careful the people that you keep around you. And I know that we've all got negative people in our life, and that's okay, but just set boundaries and limit your time around those types of people, and just try to keep yourself in the room with people that uplift you, inspire you, and are doing better than you, because it will have a big impact on your success in your business or making money or in anything else. The final habit is your attitude towards failing. Now, failing, everyone is so fearful of that word, but it's not a bad word. Failure just means you've learned a lesson, and we all need to learn our lessons to grow and be better. And if you just change your attitude or your mindset towards how you see failure, and see failure as like, great, I've failed. Now I'm one step even more closer to my goal, because I've just learned a really valuable lesson from that failure. Failure is a good thing. It is not a bad thing. You really need to change your mindset on how you feel about failure. Because, if you don't fail, you're not learning anything. And if you're not learning anything, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're not going to get any closer to become a millionaire than, what you were doing yesterday or the day before. So you need to be okay with failing. Fail forward, fail fast, get up, keep going, and go again. Don't let it give you the wobbles, just keep looking towards your goal and go, okay, that was a great lesson. That cost me a bit of money, or that cost me a bit of dignity, or whatever the failure was. It's all good. Just keep looking forward and keep moving. I see this in my own business. A lot of people, they hit one roadblock or what they might perceive as a failure, or something's not working instantly for them, and they just go, oh, I'll throw the towel in. I'll just give up. They're the people that don't become successful. Do you think they're going to become a millionaire with that attitude? No. That attitude is not going to make you become a millionaire. If you're someone that just throws a towel in too quick because, you feel, you've failed, you're not going to get anywhere in life. So that's the final habit that I have to share with you today on our podcast. So just to recap on the habits, number 1 is your daily habits. So the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, and starting the day off in a positive way by making your bed and exercising or whatever that looks like to you. Number 2 is taking consistent action. So do 10 times what everyone else is doing. Have to-do lists, mark them off, and keep going. So taking consistent action towards your goals. Number 3 is get a coach in your industry. The next habit is having laser focus on one thing or one business idea. The 5th habit is having a growth mindset. The 6th habit is surround yourself with people that have achieved what you want to achieve, or people that are doing well in life. And finally, the 7th habit is failure is a lesson. So keep going. So guys, that's my podcast for today, talking about the habits that will make you a millionaire in 2026. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here in a couple of weeks. See ya.